The nuclear meltdown at Chernobyl in Ukraine was 30 years ago, but the crisis is still with us today.
Chernobyl, 1986. In a flash, 50,000 people fled, abandoning their lives to an invisible killer. The city froze in time, a radioactive ghost town swallowed by silence. But that silence didn't last. Nature crept back in, and then it changed. Now, the exclusion zone teems with the bizarre and the bold. Mutant beasts, fearless predators, and swarms of toxic insects thriving where nothing should. Step into this post-apocalyptic wild and uncover a chilling tale of mutation, survival, and nature's dark rebirth in the shadow of disaster. Number 17. Killer bees. Meet the Africanized honeybees, also known as killer bees. They were created in 1956 when African and European bees were crossbred in Brazil to produce bees that made more honey. Instead, the result was a highly defensive bee. They look like regular honeybees, but their behavior is different. If they think their hive is threatened, they react quickly and aggressively. Large numbers will chase a threat for over 400 meters. While their sting isn't more poisonous than other bees, the danger lies in how many attack at once. Since escaping in Brazil, these bees have spread across South and Central America and into the southern United States. They thrive in warm climates and swarm more often than other bees. This helps them find new homes and food sources quickly. Despite the nickname, they aren't naturally aggressive unless disturbed. They're simply very protective of their hive. If you see a hive, the best thing to do is to stay away and let them be. Number 16. European brown bear. The European brown bear is big, strong, and furry. It can weigh over 600 pounds and stand tall like a person. These bears live in forests and mountains across Europe. They eat berries, fish, and even honey, just like in storybooks. But they are real and very smart. Brown bears usually stay away from people and love quiet places with lots of trees. Now here's the amazing part. After more than 100 years, the European brown bear has returned to Chernobyl. For a long time, the land was empty and quiet, but little by little, wild animals came back. Deer, wolves, lynx, and now brown bears. Scientists used special cameras to take pictures of the bear in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. They were so excited. Even though the area still has some radiation, nature is finding a way to grow again. The brown bear's return is a big sign of hope. It shows that animals are strong and smart, and sometimes they come back when we least expect it. Number 15. Wild boars and domestic pigs. In the radioactive wilderness of Chernobyl, a fascinating phenomenon has emerged. Wild boars and domestic pigs have interbred, creating unique hybrids. These animals roam the exclusion zone, an 18.64-mile radius around the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site, where human presence is restricted due to radiation. The hybridization occurred as domestic pigs, abandoned during the 1986 evacuation, mingled with wild boars. Over time, these hybrids have adapted to the harsh environment, exhibiting traits from both parent species. Interestingly, despite the high radiation levels, these hybrids show no signs of mutations, suggesting a remarkable resilience. However, the story doesn't end there. Similar hybridization has been observed in other radioactive zones, such as Fukushima, Japan, where wild boars and domestic pigs have also interbred. In these regions, the hybrids have thrived, further highlighting the adaptability of these creatures in post-nuclear environments. This phenomenon underscores the complex interplay between nature and the environment, demonstrating how wildlife can adapt and evolve in the face of human-induced challenges. Number 14. Shiovolskis Horse. Shiovolskis Horse is the last truly wild horse on Earth. These stocky horses with short, upright manes once ran free across the grasslands of Asia. But by the 1960s, they had vanished from the wild. Only a few survived in zoos, and scientists worked hard to bring them back. Then something amazing happened. Chernobyl, The site of a terrible nuclear disaster became their new home. In 1998, 31 Shiovolskis horses were released into the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. At first, people were unsure if they would survive, but with no humans around, the horses thrived. They used old, empty buildings for shelter, found food in wild forests and fields, and started to grow in number. By 2007, there were around 65 of them. Even today, they live in this quiet, wild place, alongside wolves, elk, and lynx. Chernobyl has become an accidental wildlife park where nature is slowly healing. Number 13. Siberian Weasel. The Siberian Weasel, also called the Kolonok, is a small but fierce hunter with golden-brown fur and a black mask across its face. It lives in forests and grasslands across Asia and loves to chase mice, birds, and even frogs. But guess what? Scientists have spotted Siberian weasels in one of the world's most surprising places, the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. After the nuclear disaster in 1986, people left the area and nature slowly crept back. Now, animals are returning, and they seem to be doing okay, even in places with radiation. Some folks wonder if Siberian weasels are mixing with other local weasel species there. That sounds wild, right? But so far, there's no proof that they're having babies with other types of weasels. It's just a cool idea scientists are curious about. Number 12. Reindeer. In the snowy lands of Norway, far from the Chernobyl disaster site, reindeer still carry traces of radiation from the 1986 nuclear accident. These gentle animals love to eat lichen, a moss that soaked up radioactive dust after the explosion. Even today, some reindeer have high levels of radiation in their bodies. The Sami people, who have herded reindeer for generations, were deeply affected. They rely on reindeer for food and income. After Chernobyl, many reindeer became too radioactive to eat or sell. To help, the Norwegian government raised the safety limit for radiation in meat, but some reindeer still had levels too high. Scientists found that in years with lots of mushrooms, reindeer radiation levels spiked. This is because mushrooms, like lichen, absorb radiation, and reindeer eat them. In 2014, some reindeer had radiation levels over 8,000 becquerels per kilogram, much higher than the European Union's limit of 600. Despite these challenges, the Sami continue their traditions, carefully managing their herds. Number 11. Mutated black frogs. Near Chernobyl, scientists found black eastern tree frogs, unusual since these frogs are usually bright green. Their darker color isn't random, it's a survival response to radiation. Even decades after the 1986 disaster, the area still contains harmful radiation. That radiation damages living cells. But frogs with darker skin produce more melanin, a pigment that helps block radiation. This gave them a better chance to survive and reproduce. Researchers studied frogs from both inside and outside the Chernobyl zone. They confirmed the black frogs weren't discolored by dirt or sunlight, they were born that way. Over generations, more frogs inherited this trait. It's a clear case of rapid evolution. The frogs didn't grow extra limbs or start glowing. Instead, their color shifted, a small but powerful change that helped them adapt. It's one of the first real examples of wild animals evolving to live with radiation. Number 10. Aquatic beings. In the wild, something strange is happening in the waters of Chernobyl. Despite the radiation still in the area, some types of fish have managed to survive. Researchers have found that fish like carp, perch, and roach are living in the lakes and rivers near Chernobyl. These fish have developed amazing ways to cope with the dangerous radiation in the water. Scientists believe that the fish's ability to survive in such a harsh environment comes from their ability to adapt. Over time, they have developed changes in their DNA that help them resist radiation. It's like their bodies have found ways to protect themselves from harm. This is an example of nature's incredible ability to adapt, even in the toughest situations. While scientists are still studying this, It's clear that some animals and fish are doing better than expected in a place once thought to be too dangerous for life. Number 9. Domestic cows. After the 1986 evacuation, some cows were left behind in the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, specifically in the city of Chernobyl and the village of Lubyanka, where there were 7 cows. When their owners passed away in 2016, the cows started living freely in the wild. These cows are of the Ukrainian black and spotted dairy breed, common in the Polisia region of northern Ukraine. Like other wildlife in the area, they often take shelter in abandoned buildings, protecting themselves from the wind and rain. In winter, they dig up dry grass with their hooves to eat. They no longer need to be milked, as their lactation cycle is now naturally linked to the birth of their calves. Before the war, the herd had grown to 20 cows. The herd survived the 2022 occupation and continues to explore the exclusion zone. With the ongoing war, large areas of farmland remain abandoned, but scientists observe that nature is recovering. The Chernobyl Exclusion Zone and its biosphere reserve provide a unique opportunity to study how the environment is changing, especially in places affected by war. Number 8. Zedonk. Imagine a creature with the sturdy build of a donkey and the wild stripes of a zebra. This is the Zedonk, a rare hybrid born from a zebra father and a donkey mother. Zedonks inherit the donkey's strength and the zebra's unique markings, making them both fascinating and functional. Zebroids, the umbrella term for zebra hybrids, also include the zorse and the hebra, though these are less common. Zebroids are typically sterile due to differing chromosome numbers between the parent species, preventing them from reproducing. Historically, zebroids were bred in Africa in the 19th century for their resilience to diseases like nagana, transmitted by tsetse flies. Their strength and endurance made them valuable for transportation and farm work in challenging environments. Today, zebroids are rare and often found in zoos or private collections. Their distinctive appearance and unique heritage continue to captivate animal enthusiasts worldwide. Number 7. Mutated birds. When people left Chernobyl after the 1986 nuclear disaster, the land began to heal. Animals, especially birds, returned to the once abandoned region. Surprisingly, many of these birds have adapted to the radioactive environment. Scientists discovered that some birds in the zone have developed special protections against radiation. They've boosted antioxidants in their bodies, which help shield them from harmful effects. In fact, some birds in the most contaminated areas are healthier than those living in places without radiation. However, the story isn't all positive. Some birds show signs of developmental issues, like smaller brains and heads, likely caused by radiation. Brightly colored birds are also less common in these areas, possibly because they require more antioxidants for their vibrant feathers. Despite these challenges, Chernobyl has turned into an unexpected wildlife refuge. Without human interference, nature has flourished in its own unique way. Number 6. Chernobyl Beetle. In the radioactive ruins of Chernobyl, some insects have managed to survive and even thrive, adapting in surprising ways. Certain species, like the Chernobyl beetle, have shown incredible resilience in the harsh, contaminated environment. Researchers found that these beetles are able to withstand higher levels of radiation compared to others. They continue to breed and live in areas where many other creatures cannot survive. Another insect that has been observed is the Chernobyl cockroach. While cockroaches are often believed to be able to survive radiation, studies show that they can still be affected by extreme radiation, but some have learned to adapt in ways that help them endure. In these contaminated zones, they play a role in the ecosystem by feeding on decaying matter. Spiders in Chernobyl have also adapted. They have changed their behavior and reproduction patterns to deal with the environment. Certain orb-weaving spiders have been observed with altered web patterns, likely a result of their need to adapt to environmental stresses. These insects, along with others like radiation-resistant ants and moths, prove that even the smallest creatures can find ways to thrive in some of the most extreme conditions. Number 5. Red foxes. Red foxes have become a prominent symbol of wildlife resilience in the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. Studies have shown that red foxes, along with other species like gray wolves and wild boars, have thrived in this now human-free environment. Researchers have observed these foxes through motion-activated camera traps, noting their adaptability and presence in the zone. Interestingly, a viral video once captured a red fox assembling and consuming a 6-layer sandwich, highlighting their opportunistic feeding behaviors. This behavior underscores their adaptability in urbanized and abandoned areas. While some scientists debate the long-term effects of radiation on these animals, the absence of human activity has allowed for a flourishing of wildlife, including red foxes. Thus, red foxes in Chernobyl exemplify nature's resilience, adapting to and thriving in an environment once thought inhospitable. Number 4. Raccoon dogs. Raccoon dogs are fascinating creatures that are not actually raccoons or dogs. They look like a mix of both, with a raccoon-like face and the body of a dog. Native to East Asia, these animals are also known as tanuki in Japan and are famous for their ability to adapt to different environments. One of the most surprising places where raccoon dogs thrive is in the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. These animals have managed to survive and even thrive in the radioactive environment, a testament to their resilience. Over time, scientists have found that they are evolving in unique ways, possibly due to the harsh conditions in Chernobyl. Some believe that radiation might be causing genetic changes, but this is still being studied. Raccoon dogs are opportunistic feeders, meaning they eat whatever they can find: fruits, insects, small mammals, and even eggs. They are mostly active at night and are excellent at navigating through forests and bushes. Despite the radioactive challenges, these creatures continue to adapt and live in the Chernobyl area, showing how wildlife can survive and evolve in unexpected ways. Number 3. Eurasian Lynx. In the quiet forests around Chernobyl, a beautiful and mysterious animal has returned: the Eurasian Lynx. With tufted ears, big paws, and golden spotted fur, this wild cat moves silently through the trees like a ghost. Lynx are shy and secretive, so they don't like crowded places. That's why Chernobyl's empty land has become the perfect home. Since people left the area, nature has taken over. Forests have grown wild, and animals have returned, including deer, boar, and now the lynx. Using hidden cameras and animal tracks, scientists confirmed that Eurasian lynx are now living and even raising their young in the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. These cats are top predators. They hunt at night, pounce on prey with perfect aim, and help keep the forest ecosystem in balance. Once rare in this region, they are slowly making a comeback. Even in a place known for disaster, life has found a way. The Eurasian lynx proves that nature is strong, wild, and full of surprises. Number 2. European bison. In the quiet forests of Chernobyl, something amazing is happening. European bison, the biggest land animals in Europe, are living there and doing just fine. These bison, also called wisent, are huge animals with thick fur, big heads, and strong legs. They were once almost gone from the wild, but people helped bring them back. Some were brought to the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, a place where no people live anymore, and now the bison are calling it home. Even though there's radiation in the area, the bison seem healthy. They eat grass, walk through the trees, and even have baby bison. Scientists use the cameras and have seen bison walking around peacefully. The bison like living in the open spaces, and the forests give them plenty of food. In Chernobyl, there are no buildings or roads to bother them. It's like a giant animal park where they are free to live how they want. This shows how strong and smart nature is. Even in a place where people can't go, animals like the bison are finding ways to live and grow. It's like a secret animal kingdom hidden away from the world. Number 1. Greater spotted eagles. Before the Chernobyl disaster, greater spotted eagles had disappeared from the area. However, since humans left the zone, these eagles have started to return. The lack of human activity and the natural process of the land becoming wetter again have created a perfect environment for them. Now, about 13 pairs of these eagles are living and breeding in the area. The species is considered endangered in Europe and is a sign of the health of wetland habitats. The greater spotted eagle isn't the only eagle species to return. The white-tailed eagle, which had also disappeared by the time of the disaster, is now breeding in the zone again. These eagles stay in the area year-round, unlike the greater spotted eagles, which migrate. White-tailed eagles benefit from food left by wolves and other animals that have returned to the area. Since hunting is banned, wildlife like wolves, wild boar, and deer have come back, helping the eagles find food more easily. Since 1998, Valery Dombrovsky, an eagle expert from Belarus, has been studying the birds in the zone. His research shows that after the disaster, many animals started returning, especially generalist predators. As the land became wetter, the habitat changed, and the types of birds of prey began to resemble those found in wild areas in Belarus, instead of farmland or tree plantations. We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more amazing stories.